College football on CBS Sports Network is presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Critical game in the Mountain West. Critical Saturday in the Mountain West. One more week left. If it ended right now, San Diego State and New Mexico are in the championship game, but a lot can change between now and then. And this is a crucial game for Fresno State. Utah State's hopes are faint. They have to win this one as well. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fresno. I'm Rich Waltz, along with Super Bowl running back Robert Turbin. Brandon Baylor will join us shortly. It's pretty easy. Both coaching staff says throw out all the scenarios. We have to win this game tonight.
Yeah, important for both teams because for Fresno, a couple weeks ago, Rich, 5-3, outlook for their future looking a little bit bleak, but 2 wins in a row now, and they have their minds set on being in the Mountain West Championship game. But Utah State might have something to say about that tonight as they're looking to get bowl eligible.
About those 2 wins for Fresno State, their quarterback situation changed. A lot of turnovers early. They went with Carson Conklin and a heavy run game the last 2 games, and they won those games. But tonight, E.J. Warner, who has 7 starts, was taking the reps with the first-team offense. So it looks like he will start.
Yeah, and E.J. Warner, look, he's got the mindset of a gunslinger, and he was putting up really great stats. You look at it right there, almost 70% completion percentage, 7.5 yards per play, 10 touchdown passes, but it's the turnovers that made Fresno State go with Carson Conklin. So it'll be interesting to see where they go tonight because they need to score a lot of points against Utah State.
Opposite with Utah State's quarterback situation. This guy should be in the conversation for Player of the Year offensively in the conference.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. The transfer from Utah, he's been everything for this offense this season for Utah State. He's got a great arm, can throw the deep ball. He's accurate, but this is where he's really dangerous on the ground. And when he gets a chance to utilize his legs, he can be dangerous, and they're going to need that tonight.
And Bronco Mendenhall told us that guy, Bryson Barnes, is the toughest player he's ever coached. And that's saying something. He'd like to also get a win on the road. Haven't done that this year, right, Brandon Baylor?
Yeah, Rich, you're right about that. When it comes to Utah State, if they played all their games at home, they might go undefeated, but that's not the case. They're on the road, and that has been a problem. Speaking to Coach Mendenhall this week, he said he's aware of his group and what they have not been able to do on the road, telling me if you go back to those losses, there's a sub-narrative for each one. But when it comes to this game, Rich, Coach saying their preparation was great despite that loss to UNLV. He also mentioned when he took this job, his main goal for this team was to play meaningful games in November. I think they have one of those here tonight.
Yeah, man, it sure seems that way. This guy can really coach. Matt Entz there in the black cap with the headset on. He was at USC for 1 year as an assistant, and that was after a terrific run at North Dakota State and 2 national championships. Bronco Mendenhall told us this week, if we win the toss, we want the football, which is opposite of most coaches in college football. He wants an early lead in this game, and it feels like he's got the offense to do it.
Yeah, it's part of their game plan tonight, Rich, to try to get a jump on Fresno State early and have them play from behind, try to force them to throw the football tonight.
And do not adjust your sets. Fresno State is wearing white with green numerals and the green logo on the helmet in honor of the Valley. And of course, the Central Valley, so vital in our country as far as all the produce and the agriculture. And they embrace that here at Fresno. All right, what makes this guy special, Turbo?
Well, a lot of different things. Let's start with his mentality of he loves football. And he approaches the game with great leadership. He's got great command of the huddle, does the extra work, film study on the field, and it's part of the reason why he's been exceptional as a player so far this season.
Is now wearing 19.
First carry, Miles Davis straight ahead, and that's to the 27-yard line. The key matchup here between the offense of Utah State and the defense, it's on the outside. Pagan against a zillion.
Yeah, what a season Braden Pagan has had. The transfer over at UCLA. Didn't play much last season, but it's been exceptional for this Utah State offense this year. But you'll see Zillion Hamilton on him a bunch tonight, and that matchup will be one to watch.
First run play for Barnes, and Jaden Pearson, Logan Stute were there to make him hurt. 3rd down and 9.
You know, a lot of the offense for Utah State, you think it's quarterback design run, but it's really a lot of run-pass option where Barnes has the option to throw the football, and based on his read, he'll take it himself. But it'll be tough sledding against a tough Fresno State defense tonight.
He ran for 124 yards last week at UNLV, scrambling, throwing, but I don't know if he got a foot down. The officials say Pagan did. What a catch right at midfield. I didn't think there was any way he'd get a toe down. Let's get our first look at it.
Well, it starts with the composure of Bryson Barnes, and there's the catch. Right foot is inbounds, Rich. And he used every bit of that 6'3" frame to come down with that.
And it did look like he came back inbounds, but there was a defender that probably knocked him out. Barnes scrambling, throwing, and a man's wide open. That's Davis with the catch. And Davis all the way to the 32-yard line, and the Aggies are rolling early. And this is legal. If you get knocked out of bounds, you have to come back in. Does he reestablish both feet? Yes, he does.
Yep, that's the rule. You get knocked out, you are allowed to come back in and be the first to touch as long as 2 feet are in bounds. That reestablishes you to be legal.
First and 10. Barnes to the air. Pressure, fires up the sideline, and it's incomplete. Miles Davis. That's one thing about Utah State. Barnes will throw to his running backs. Miles Davis has 23 catches. Javen Jacobs has 32 catches. And Noah White, the 3rd back, who doesn't play a lot, he has 8 catches.
And you can see the intentionality in their recruiting process to ensure that they have running backs who can catch out of the backfield. It's a big part of what Kevin McGivern, offensive coordinator for Utah State, wants to do with their RBs. 2nd
down and 10. Movement and flags come in from everywhere. And it sounds like procedure. Ken Ray.
Ball start. Number 87 on the offense. It's 5 yards. 2nd down.
That's Brock Lane, their talented tight end.
Yeah, there he is right there, just lined up in the wing spot. Just gonna try to get an early jump. Boom, there it is.
So 2nd down and 10, now 2nd down and 15. Barnes threw for 256 in that game against UNLV, and this is going to be about a 3-yard run. Jaden Pearson makes his 2nd tackle for Fresno State. And this is a long 3rd down now for Utah State.
And Jaden Pearson is quite the player. He's a former Utah State Aggie. And you want to talk about a guy who's got a chip on his shoulder tonight. Well, Jaden Pearson is one of those guys. I don't know if he wanted to leave Utah State, felt like it wasn't a fit for him anymore, and he's got something to prove tonight.
Remember, field goal problems last week. They missed 3 of them, did Utah State. Trying to scramble, up for grabs, and not intercepted. And this, I think, is going to be too long a field goal attempt. And we'll see what Utah State does here.
A tremendous job by Fresno State in their front 4, getting pressure on the quarterback. And Ryan Wilson that time, number 37, almost had his second interception of the season right there.
Number 19. The punter for 16 is now number 19.
All right, the officials before the game pulled Landon Rico, the punter, aside because he was wearing 16, the same as the quarterback. If you go back a couple weeks when USC pulled that trickery and had a quarterback wearing a punter's number, which was after a day ruled illegal, wasn't called during the game. Everybody around college football has been on the lookout for that. And so the officials quickly made Rico change into number 19. First touch for Fresno State when we get back. First touch not only for Fresno State. E.J. Warner started the first 7 games. In Game 7, he threw 3 picks in a loss at Colorado State. Lost the job to Carson Conklin, but he's back in tonight. What does that tell you?
Well, what it tells me is Fresno State's expecting Utah State to put up a lot of points tonight, and they need to answer that. And, you know, with Carson Conklin, he's a good quarterback, young, he's still developing. And there's the father of E.J. Warner right there, Kurt Warner, one of the all-time great quarterbacks, Hall of Famer in the NFL, of course, out here to support his son. But I think this move is an indicator that they feel like they need to put up points against this Utah State football team.
That this is going to be a high-scoring game. They were ground and pound for the last 2 games. It didn't throw for many yards at all. They'll try to run it on the first carry there. And that's Bryson Donaldson with the carry. Now look, E.J. Warner has thrown for over 10,000 yards in stops at Temple and Rice. And Rayshawn Luke, along with Donaldson, will be toting the rock. John Miller is a terrific linebacker for Utah State.
Yeah, Rayshawn Luke, one of those explosive players that can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. But John Miller, one of the best linebackers in the Mountain West. That matchup's going to be one to witness tonight.
Second down. And this is what Fresno State did in the win at Boise State and in the win over Wyoming. They ran it, and they ran it with success.
And you're going to see this a lot. You see those, that left tackle, left guard for Fresno State pull to the right. That's a counter scheme is what we call that, Rich. That is the staple of this offense. They want to run the football a ton, but they want to get those big guys in front to try to help lead block for those running backs. And they've done it successfully over the last few weeks.
Warner completing 69% of his passes. The problem is 9 interceptions in his 7 starts. Donaldson for maybe a yard.
Yeah, see, here it is again, Rich. These guys right here, boom, boom. Right tackle, right guard. See how they pull? This is the foundation of their offense and their run game. That's where they feel like they can have the most success, and they've done a nice job of that scheme this year.
Rayshawn Luke now is in the backfield, along with E.J. Warner, who has time here, fires to the sideline, caught. That's Ezekiel Avett. Avett at the 31-yard line, and Avett going to get about 4 yards on that. This is going to bring up 3rd down and a long 6, maybe 7.
A lot of the attention in the passing game for Fresno tonight is going to be put on number 5, Josiah Freeman. He's their number 1 wide receiver. But the second guy, Avett, who just caught that last pass, is a huge part of the success of this passing game tonight against Utah State. He'll need to have a huge game tonight.
Avett's got 20 catches. Their tight end's really good, too. Richie Anderson, 24 catches and 2 touchdowns. 3rd down, 7 over the middle. That's not enough for the first down. Cameron Beecham, a backup tight end. He's the number 2 guy in that tight end room. That's his 7th catch. This will be 4th down and about 2.
Utah State likes to bring pressure on 3rd down. 5-man rush there. They go 5 for 5. Ike Larson, All-American, comeback player of the year last year, with the tackle to stop him short.
Kahanu Davis is deep. Nick Verdugo to punt it. No problem with the Fresno State punter's number. Verdugo's 41. No quarterbacks are wearing 41. There's a flag down.
Delay game. Number 41 on the kicking team. It's 5 yards, still 4th down.
That's not normally an area where you're going to take the 5 yards on purpose unless he's got a, monster leg, because that backs the football to the 31-yard line.
Well, I think if you're going to punt on 4th down, you take the penalty instead of burning a timeout here.
Well, they didn't have enough. They were running out of time. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
I got you. All right. I thought they were set and just let it roll. Kind of a running punt, end over end. Davis is over, gets the heck out of the way, and it lands, and it's going to end up at the 25-yard line. All right, we're underway. This is a critical game in the Mountain West for Fresno State and Utah State and the Tailgaters. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We told you that Bronco Mendenhall and Utah State did everything but win the game last week at UNLV, and it was a thriller. Utah State at the end of regulation had a chance to win it, but missed from 44 yards. Tanner Rinker, their kicker, got another shot in overtime, and he missed that one too. Not by much. And in double overtime after a Utah State made field goal, UNLV would end it with this touchdown run. Utah State outplayed them in just about every category except this. And here's the thing about Renker. He was a perfect 10 of 10 before he missed those 3. And I can't think of a better coach to handle that situation than Bronco Mendenhall.
No doubt about it. And you know, he talked about how he handled things this week at practice. He said, look, we just had random field goals throughout the week and to help us prepare for those moments. And hopefully he's able to answer tonight.
Barnes is going to take a deep shot. Got 2 receivers there. And he overthrows them both. Brady Boyd and Anthony Garcia in the pattern. And this is really indicative of what Bronco Mendenhall said by taking the kickoff to start. We want to get it up. We want to get it in the end zone right away.
The game plan, as we take a look at Bryce Barnes taking a big hit. I mean, this defense for Fresno State, a ferocious one. That's Jazon Jacks there on the hit right there.
Barnes, who runs a lot and gets hit a lot, is caught from behind and tripped up there.
You know, and it's interesting, Rich, the one weakness we can point to for Utah State offensively is their offensive line. And Fresno State, coming into this game tonight, they know that. And they want to get into these third and long situations because they want to bring extra defenders. You see them all lined up at the line of scrimmage. Right now, they want to take advantage of this offensive line.
Over the middle, that's not going to get it done. Tumbling catch by Garcia, converted quarterback. And Barnes with the completion, but a 3 and out by the defense of Fresno State.
Well, Fresno State decides to bring 5, and they're in man coverage on the back end, and that's just a nice job by Ryan Wilson. Man-to-man coverage on Garcia, able to make the tackle short of the first down.
Mala'ulu is deep for Fresno State. Landon Rico to punt it. Both defenses look good early on here. Halfway through first quarter. And a line drive punt caught in traffic. No fair catch called for. And Mala'ulu is tackled at the 30. Fresno State's Utah State scoreless in the Valley.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? By Verizon. And by Chili's 3 for Me. The best $10.99 you can eat.
Senior night is always cool, but that moment there with Cameron Braca, number 22. He is a self-made player, man. He went to junior college here at Fresno City, walked on here at Fresno State, earned a starting spot. He's the 3rd leading tackler, has 2 picks this year, and had a tackle on that last defensive sequence. They love him here. He is all Fresno, man. Bulldog football. If you're just joining us, quarterback change for Fresno State. E.J. Warner getting the start here. And the Bulldogs bust one loose. Rayshawn Luke up the right side. Down to the 30. Luke to the 10. Luke to the house. Touchdown. Fresno State. My goodness. 69 yards.
He's like Drake, Rich. 0 to 100 real quick. And as soon as he hits that acceleration button and he's got open field, he's gone. And I told you at the top of the broadcast, why was he a key player? Because he can score it anywhere on the field. And he showed an example of it right there. 69 yards to the house. Rayshawn Luke showing off the speed.
Hasn't run it a whole lot the last few games. Bang. Off he goes. Rayshawn Luke to the house. And Fresno State is on top. As quickly as he got to the end zone, he got to the sideline with a lot of love from his teammates. the junior, the transfer from Arizona. Fair catch called for, out to the 25. And we check in with Brandon Baylor. Brandon?
Rich, you and Turbo hit it in terms of the speed when it comes to Rayshawn Luke. He told us a fun story earlier this week. At the age of 6, he was playing his first football practice, and the coach was trying to figure out everybody's name. He called him Speedy. That name has been something that coaches and teachers all the way up 17 years now. He said, hey, look, I've been Speedy since I was 6 years old, and it's kind of stuck. And we saw it there with that 69-yard touchdown.
Yeah, anytime we can work Pop Warner football into the show is a good night, Brandon. And yeah, he is plenty speedy. That's about a 2-yard carry for Miles Davis. So it's Fresno State that scores first. Remember, Utah State had a really nice opening drive that stalled out, and they ended up punting when it would have been a field goal of about 52 or 53 yards. David Jacobs is the running back. Bryson Barnes, 3 of 6, 49 yards. And he likes to run it. This guy is not afraid of contact. And he's going against a defense that the last 2 games has just been absolutely brilliant.
Fresno State, a hard defense to score points on. You look at that right there. The last 2 games, they've only allowed 10 points. That's nearly unheard of. And this is going to be the key area right here for Utah State. If they want to have any success against Fresno, they got to convert on 3rd down.
Over center and straight ahead. And I don't know that he got the first down.
Yeah, he looked like he's short.
That's Miles Davis. And he is short. Now what do you do if you're Utah State?
Yeah, they go with an unbalanced look. 3 guys lined up to the right of the center.
They're going to go for it, or at least they're going to line up as if they're going for it.
I think they're going to try to draw Fresno State off sides here.
Quarterback sneak, and the officials call is, I believe, a timeout by the Bulldogs.
Before the snap, timeout, Fresno State. It's their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Oh.
Well, let's see if that changes the dynamics on the play call if you're Utah State.
Well, I don't know if Bryson Barnes would have gotten that first down right there.
I'm with you, which tells you what as far as what Bronco Mendenhall is going to do here.
I don't know if I like the decision right here to go for it on 4th down. I know you're down 7 points. The game plan for Utah State was to try to get an early lead on Fresno State. That obviously hasn't worked out, but you're in your own territory right now. If you're stopped short, I mean, you're giving Fresno State a real short field on offense.
And he's not over center. Man in motion there. Got the first down, and Barnes has more than that. So straight ahead power didn't work. Quarterback sneak didn't work. A little quarterback run. Braca makes the stop.
They go with the unbalanced look to the other side this time. 4 offensive players lined up to the left side of the center. And that's exactly where Bryson Barnes goes to get that first down.
12 yards on that run. It's a great tackle by Braca there. Flags are flying everywhere. And I think Utah State may have moved.
Ball start. Number 72 on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
And these are the type of penalties Utah State needs to avoid tonight. You talked about that first drive. They were moving the ball. What happened? Brock Lane jumped off sides. It put Utah State behind the sticks, forcing them to eventually punt. These are the penalties Utah State has to avoid tonight against a stingy Fresno State defense.
1st and 15. Handoff is to Pagan, and Pagan is upended. Good pursuit there by Titus Kajavi and Jaden Pearson.
And this is why. Because Fresno State defensively, they play with so much speed. Look at the pursuit to the football. Titus Kajabi with the initial hit, Jaden Pearson following. It's just too hard to get yards on this Fresno State defense.
It's still having a hard time wrapping my mind around Fresno State wearing the green numerals. That's Pagan with the catch. This is going to be about a 3rd down and 11. Jaden Pearson, the senior. Long road that started at Air Force, then Reedley College, then Utah State, and now Fresno State.
And Rich, he wanted to stay at Utah State, and it just didn't work out. Found a home here at Fresno, and he's having a heck of a year.
Yes, he is. 84 tackles, large chip on his shoulder, and down goes Barnes. Finn Claypool, one of the defensive ends who's a disruptor in the highest level.
Yeah, we talked to defensive coordinator Nick Benedetto about Claypool and what makes him special as a player. Well, he says, look, you try to train with this guy in the offseason, I'm not so sure you're going to be able to keep up. It's his training in the offseason, his relentless play style, and he's just continued to grow each week of this year.
I think he called him a ball of muscle, which is actually pretty accurate. That was a fair catch, and then the receiver made a move. No flags, though. 7-0 start. Fresno State on top. Turbo, that's a major bling there, right?
I'm loving it.
It's all going down in Fresno tonight. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Network has the Greenbrier tip-off. Butler and Virginia go head-to-head at 2 Eastern, followed by Northwestern facing off with South Carolina at 5. Hey, you Utah State fans, you remember this guy. Utah State's had a really nice run of coaches and basketball success. Turbo, you know that. Ryan Odom at Virginia, his father, Dave, was an assistant there long ago. He was the ball boy. Now he gets to win or wear the orange and navy tie and the cool Virginia pin on his coat as the head coach of the Cavaliers.
I expect more of the same from Fresno State, Rich. The game plan for them is they want to run the ball at least 40 times tonight. That's right. They're going to be a run-heavy approach.
82 yards on the ground already. Of course, that long run by Luke is most of that yardage. All right, scores have trickled in here. Boise State has won. New Mexico has won. UNLV won last night. So there are your standings right now. San Diego State in the driver's seat. Boise State behind them. Boise State has a tough one next week on Friday in Logan against Utah State. That game is on CBS. Fresno State plays at San Jose State next weekend. 2nd down 12. Warner rolling, firing to the sideline. Good throw and catch. Nicely done. That's Josiah Freeman, the guy that you said they got to get the ball to.
Yeah, he's their top wide receiver, Rich. He can stretch the field, and he's really got a nice route tree to his game. And right there, the comeback route. E.J. Warner showing the patience. Offensive coordinator Josh Davis is, look, E.J. Warner, what he can do, his strength is we can move the pocket with him because he can use his legs, and a good example of it on that last play.
And if you're just joining us and you've been following Fresno State, you're saying, well, wait a minute. They made a quarterback change 2 weeks ago with Carson Conklin, and they won both those games. And part of that was Warner had thrown 9 picks and had some fumbles as well. So interesting that he is the starting quarterback. You talked about it, feeling that they may need more points than they did against their last 2 opponents. There's your play selection. It's heavy run right now. Warner in the pocket, scrambling, fires that one out of bounds. And again, I mean, look, E.J. Warner has had some big numbers at Temple and at Rice, thrown for over 10,000 yards in his career.
Well, let's look at the back end for Utah State. They've got some good secondary players of their own, and you can just see it. All covered there, covered there. And these DBs, that time right there, are able to plaster onto these wide receivers and force the throwaway. And if they want to have continued success tonight, it's going to be about putting pressure on the quarterback, but being sound in the secondary.
In that huddle there was Carson Conklin, who started the last 2 games. Warner scrambles, then stops, then tucks, then runs, weaves his way out close to midfield at the 42-yard line.
So I just talked about this, right? How Josh Davis, offensive coordinator for Fresno State, they want to move the pocket because of the ability that E.J. Warner has with his feet. That's an element Carson Conklin doesn't have in his game. He's much more of a pocket passer, wants to sit in there and throw the football from the pocket. E.J., however, he can use his feet and then be able to create right there. It's a first down.
Previous play is under further review.
He's more mobile than his dad. Of course, his dad's, I think, in his early 50s.
Well, his dad's a Hall of Famer, too. We don't want to tell Kurt that, but he might agree with you.
They're going to see if this is a first down.
Yeah, I did initially think it was close.
The yellow line, although helpful, is not official.
I think he's short. Yeah, I think he's short there.
Well, did he go down or did he land on the player and roll over?
No, I thought his left knee was down, Rich, right?
Go
there.
Right. Good call.
Yep.
Turbo, you could be a replay official. You know that?
I like this. I like being up here, even though the action's great.
Todd Whitlinger is our replay official on site. Collaborative replay with the replay center in Pittsburgh. Gene Sterator's neck of the woods.
Plus, Rich, if I was a referee, I wouldn't be up here in the booth with you.
That's true. You'd have to wear
hanging
one
out
of those
with famous people.
You'd have to wear one of those striped shirts that I wore on Halloween.
See, that's about as good as it gets for me for a striped shirt like that Halloween. I like that.
I think he's going to be short of the line to gain.
So if he's short, Rich, and it looks like he will be, you know, up 7-0, you're at home. I'd like an aggressive approach right here for Matt Entz if he decides to go for it here on this 4th down.
And it looked like it wasn't right up against the stick. It looked like he was about a yard short.
After further review, the runner's left knee was down short of the line to gain at the 40.5-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
So here it is. It's a nice tackle by Tyree Morris. It's number 9. That's a big-time number to wear at Utah State now, Rich.
They have to reset the chains. Brandon Ramirez is their short yardage running back. He's a bowling ball at 6 feet 220, and he's in there right now, number 31. For Matt Entz and Fresno State.
Yeah, they mix him up. Generally, he plays fullback. He lead blocks for the offensive line, or excuse me, for the running backs. But in these short yardage situations, they like to give him the ball, and you see all these offensive players over there. That's an unbalanced formation.
He gets it, and he dives. He didn't get it. That's a stop for Utah State. Ramirez, that left side of the offensive line, was collapsed by the defensive front of Utah State.
Short of the line to gain. It's 1st down, Utah State.
And Utah State knew what was coming all the way through. Ike Larson, a player that plays with so much, his IQ is at an all-time high. I mean, he's such a smart football player. He knew what was coming from start to finish, able to get into the backfield and make that play. I like the aggressive move by Matt Entz, but it was great execution on Utah State's part to get the stop.
Fresno State has one of the best defenses, not only in the Mountain West, but on the West Coast. They're really good. Barnes to throw, going deep. Oh, just out of the hands of Braden Pagan, who was trying to make a Chris Collinsworth-like catch, looking back over.
That's a nice ball by Bryson Barnes. It's a tough one to catch, but he wins off the line of scrimmage. And Bryson, I mean, timing-wise, I mean, he put the ball in the air before Braden was even looking, and you like that anticipation there. Pagan's got to come down with that one.
2nd down 10. Bryson Barnes Hands it off. That's Miles Davis squirting through to the 34. There is a flag down right at the 40-yard line. And it looks like this one is coming back. Utah State hurt themselves with a penalty on their first drive of the ball game. They didn't get any points out of it. We're still in the first quarter, by the way. It feels like we should be midway through the second quarter. This is actually going to go against Fresno State.
Holding. Number 89 on the defense. 10 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Mordecai Hines, the sophomore out of Palmdale.
There's 89. See him grab 72's left shoulder. So he's preventing 72 to get up to the linebacker and block. That's George Miley. And you just can't do that as a defensive lineman.
That's not a call you see a lot. Interior defensive lineman called for holding. Garcia's in motion. He can throw it. A former quarterback to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Brady Boyd.
And he put that one on a laser.
Anthony Garcia has thrown 5 passes this year. He's completed all 5, and 3 have been for touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a touchdown throwing machine, it sounds like, Rich. Nice job off the line of scrimmage by Brady Boyd, making it look like he was going to block, then uses his speed to come across the middle. But the throw by Garcia, I mean, you'd want to talk about a guy who's a former quarterback. Well, it looked like it right there on that throw.
You don't often see a trick play throw to a backside post, but he threw it on the line. And it's one of the things when he arrived here, he was a quarterback. Kevin McGivern, the offensive coordinator, was at San Jose State when Nick Nash showed up as a quarterback and said, "You remind me of Nick Nash. You want to play wide receiver like he did?" And he has.
Yeah, there's Boyd. See, he comes off the line of scrimmage, just kind of pretending like he's going to block. And
when you see a guy set his feet like that, you know he's not just a wide receiver.
No, he's not. And this is how they like to use Anthony Garcia. We'll see him at some point in the backfield as a Wildcat quarterback as well, but he's a gadget player for him, and he's been able to execute that at a high level this season.
And you know what? We've talked about Nick Nash being the quarterback at San Jose State.
Yeah,
McGivern was there. McGivern is the OC here.
That's right.
It worked out pretty well because Nick Nash last year, one of the few guys that has accomplished this, won the Triple Crown of receiving in college football.
And he was,
I believe he's now with the Falcons.
He is. One of the all-time greats in San Jose State history. And, you know, I'm sure Anthony Garcia is looking to become an all-time great at some point himself, and he's having a great start to his career so far.
Rayshawn Luke, Jordan Ma'ulu, deep for Fresno State. This is Luke, who has the long touchdown run, and he's got a seam. Luke weaving his way all the way out across the 40, out to the 45. Fresno State has good special teams. Luke showing off for the home crowd.
I just want you to watch Luke just weave through. Watch him start to skip right here. He's just in flow state. You just don't. It's so hard as a defender when a runner is just in that kind of mode right there because you just don't know which direction he's going to go. Fantastic return right there by Rayshawn Luke.
Jonathan Arsenault now in the backfield for Fresno State. Yards per rush, that Luke run, 69 yards, accounting for a lot of that. And this is Arsenault, the senior out of Los Angeles. And that should do it for a rather entertaining and long first quarter. 7-7, Utah State, Fresno State, here on a critical night in the Mountain West Conference. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. The Valley, embraced by Fresno State, producing the vast majority of fruits, nuts, produce to the country, and Fresno State wearing the special Valley uniforms. It's such a great area. And you heard Steve Perry and Journey singing. Steve Perry from the Valley.
Valley, that's right, Rich. And I'll tell you what, this is a great town. They got a strong fan base. Just pulling up to the game today and seeing the fan support and all the folks in the parking lot tailgating, and they're expecting big things from their team tonight. E.J.
Warner getting the start, back in as a starting quarterback. Carson Conklin had the last 2 games. Little trickery here. This is Freeman coming around with the pitch. Gets a good block and accelerates. And Freeman to the 20. Freeman in the end zone. A flag is down back at the 45-yard line. What acceleration by Josiah Freeman.
One of those guys, it's a big play waiting to happen, but we'll check the flag here. Doesn't look good for Fresno State.
During the run, holding number 15 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot, still second down.
Cameron Beecham, the senior tight end.
Not known for his blocking abilities, Rich. More of a receiving type player. Still developing in that area. There he is on the end man line of scrimmage right there. And, yeah, he's blocking number 25. That's Chris Joe, a true freshman. And, once a defender gets out of your framework, you just got to let him go. There it is again right there. Just got to let him go right there. I think Freeman had the edge on him anyways and would have been able to get around that corner and still score. Big play, turn back.
Rayshawn Luke in the backfield. Warner's throw is on the target. Ezekiel Abbott, his second catch. So tell me what you think so far about E.J. Warner back in as the starter.
Yeah, so far he's been efficient. He looks confident, right? A lot of times when you get your job taken right, it's about the approach, your response afterwards. And it seems like he's had a positive response in terms of being able to come back in a game like tonight with a lot on the line for Fresno State in terms of Mountain West Championship and still be able to be as efficient and play as confident as he is.
They're down 11, low snap. Warner steps up, fires, caught. Still need a yard or 2, and Luke is upended. He didn't get the first down. Oh, wow. What a nice play there by Charger Doty.
Another true freshman, Rich. It's a big tackle. I'll tell you right now, Rayshawn Luke, he is not an easy player to get on the ground when he's in space like that. And that's a heck of a play by Charger Doty. If he's able to get around the edge right here, smart play there by Freeman not to get the block in the back. If he's able to get around the corner, he might score. So that's a heck of a play there by Doty.
And on 4th and 3, after being stopped on a 4th and 1 with their last possession, Fresno State punts it away.
Want the latest on today's games? Just tell Siri, show me the college football scores.
Siri, show me Mountain West scores. New Mexico's really had a special year, and they're right now in a pretty good spot to get in that championship game. UNLV overwhelmed Hawaii. Hawaii dropped a lot of passes in the first half last night, but UNLV impressive at home. They have to play at Nevada to finish the season. Flags go down. How about Nevada going to Wyoming and beating the Cowboys, who drove down to the goal line and couldn't stick it in at the end?
That's 2 in a row for Nevada now, Rich.
False start. 56 on the offense. It's 5 yards, and it's still first down.
It's Jake Eichhorn. Take a look at Jake Eichhorn there, left tackle. Important for Utah State to stay on schedule. You can't have these plays that put you behind the sticks like this. Fresno State, in these spots, they start to slobber off the mouth right here because they want to create takeaways for their defense.
That's a great visual, by the way. Barnes spins out of the pocket, backing up off his back foot, throws incomplete. Brady Boyd was the intended receiver.
Looks like that was Jazon Jacks. Yep, on the pressure that time. Rolling out to his left. They feel comfortable rolling him out both sides. Usually quarterbacks were right-handed. Love to go to the strength. Couldn't quite get to his target there. Jazon Jacks able to break that up.
5 of 10, 78 yards. Fresno State has kept Barnes in check as far as the running game goes. Blitz comes, center screen, and it is blown up. Javen Jacobs. And that was Julius Gandy who broke it up. There's no slobbering from that Bulldog, but Gandy was there to make the stop.
Not yet, at least. Again, pressure on the quarterback, and just a nice read by Gandy, looking at the screen and recognizing it all the way through. And, you know, this is why you can't play behind the sticks against a team like Fresno State. If you're Utah State, you have to get away from your run game, and the strength of Fresno State's defense is really their secondary. And so they're able to recognize what Utah State's trying to do here.
1 of 5 on third down. This is a long one. And Barnes is ripped down. Corey Foreman got him.
And what a season Corey Foreman has had. I mean, this is a guy that in the offseason, Rich, battled a bunch of injuries. Very frustrating for him. Every time he got back on the field, it seemed like he was back on the sideline. But the resiliency, he kept fighting, and Jaden Pearson was in there too for the sack. And able to get a sack right there on that play.
Rico, line drive punt, and a good roll, and it keeps on rolling inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Much needed for Utah State. Still pretty good field position for the Bulldogs. In a 7-7 game, this defense disruptive. (7-7) Utah State, Fresno State. Must win for either school if they have hopes of getting in the championship game in the Mountain West. Game Trends brought to you by Subway. What do you see there, Turbo?
Well, Rayshawn Luke, I mean, showing the explosiveness that we talked about at the start of the broadcast, taking it all the way to the house for 69 yards and a big return. Anthony Garcia for Utah State. We know he's a gadget player, former quarterback, already has a touchdown pass tonight. But this rushing attack, 10 yards per carry, that is the meat and potatoes of what Fresno State wants to do. They want to wear down this Utah State defense with those body blows.
One of the biggest plays of this game, though, was they couldn't get 1 yard on one carry. On a 4th and 1, they went for it in their own territory, and they were stopped, and it cost them. E.J. Warner on 1st and 10. Pocket collapses, and Tyree Morris grabs Warner and gets the sack.
Sack by number 9, Tyree Morris.
I don't know if I like this for Fresno State. Play action, but you know that offensively you want to run the football. That's been the staple. That's how you've won 2 in a row. I know E.J. Warner, he's starting tonight, and he's had success in the air. As we take a look at Tyree Morris there, who had the sack. But don't allow that for you to get away from your game plan and what's had you had success the last couple weeks.
Warner now scrambling, and no slide, but kind of a dive at the 43. Well short of the first down. This will be 3rd down and about 6.
It's a really dangerous collision at the end of this play too, Rich. But, you know, this is the element E.J. Warner brings. Nothing down the field, and he can scoot a little bit and use his feet and get some yards. Nice job putting Fresno State in position in a 3rd and manageable position right here.
Head first dive is dangerous, but you do get the yardage. Remember, when you slide feet first, it's when you start the slide. to where they spot the ball. This is 3rd down and 6. And this is Warner with a blitz coming. Pumps once, scrambles. Now a little flip out in the flats to Luke. And he's got the 1st down at the 49-yard line. And Noah Avenger makes the stop.
Yeah, Rich, and when we talked to offensive coordinator Josh Davis for Fresno State about E.J. Warner, you know, one of the things that he said he wanted him to improve on was his decision making. And he felt like there were times where, you know, he was getting a little bit greedy and wanted plays down the field instead of just taking the check down or throwing the football away. Right there, took the check down to Rayshawn Luke and able to get the 1st down. Smart play there by E.J. Warner.
On 1st down, on the ground. And John Miller makes the stop on Bryson Donaldson. It's a gain of 3. 2nd down, 7.
And one of the keys to the game tonight, you know, for Fresno State is, you know, how well they're able to run the ball on 1st down. Their goal is to get at least 4 yards per carry to keep them on schedule there. And they want to control the time of possession. And that's why it's important to get those 4 yards each time they hand the ball off.
Yeah, 47 carries in each of the last 2 games. This is Luke busting it out of bounds. A flag, no flag. But the bench sure wanted a flag for Fresno State. Luke with another nice gain and a 1st down to the 32.
That they go right back to the well. Pull the left tackle, left guard, look at him, boom. Kick out, left tackle goes inside, and Rayshawn Luke showing the patience. I like a good no call right there by the referees. Inbounds, just it's a little simultaneous right there. I thought a good job not throwing the flag on that particular play.
Warner now, Arsenault out of the backfield, has the 1st down with the catch to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, they're trying to throw off the defense with their eyes. There's Rayshawn Luke going to the right of your screen and then trying to pop Arsenault there, open to the left. I'll tell you what, though, Rich, Josiah Freeman was coming open across the middle of that field as well. Could have been an option there for E.J. Warner.
Certainly field goal range for Dylan Lynch. That's Donaldson now. And Donaldson down to the 12-yard line. Obviously, Fresno State is in the red zone. And you can see their touchdown percentage is not good. 19 to 36, 53% is low, our Verizon red zone.
This offensive line for Fresno State feels like they have the advantage right now, winning up front with this run scheme.
Wildcat with on 2nd down and 2, he picks up 1. 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, you're going to get Brandon Ramirez coming across the formation, try to kick out and
No gain on the play. 3rd.
trying to find a crease there in the middle of the defense. Nice job by Utah State staying stout. And, you know, one of the keys for them defensively is being gap sound against a team who wants to continue to run it and try to break down your defense that way. And 3rd down critical for both sides.
They're not going to give him any gain at all. It's 3rd down and 2 now. Keeping it is Warner. And, boy, I don't know. He didn't make it either. Tyree Morris. Remember the last time Fresno State was faced with 4th and short? They went for it in their own territory and didn't make it.
For an injury to a defensive player.
There's an Aggie down right now. And Fresno State initially was bringing the field goal unit on, but they've obviously with this timeout gone back to the sideline.
And I think a good decision by Matt Entz. Get the points right here. Your defense for Fresno State has been solid here in this 1st half. So get the points and take the lead in this particular situation.
William Holmes is down, and we'll step aside. 4th and 2 coming up for Fresno State.
Timeout.
William Holmes in the injury tent right now. 7-7 Fresno State, Utah State.
There he is right there. William Holmes. Looks like he runs into his own teammate. He's got an interesting story, Rich. I mean, he was a baseball player.
He was in the minor leagues. Pitcher, DH, did not play football in high school. Dylan Lynch is going to attempt a 30-yard field goal. So on 4th and 2, Fresno State will take the points if they can knock it through. Lynch is 12 of 17. And his kick is up, and his kick is good. So Fresno State on top. Still plenty of time left in this second quarter. There's a lot of scenarios for every team that's in that 4 or 5 team group vying for a championship game spot. And for Matt Entz and the Bulldogs, this is the easiest path. Not the only path, but the easiest path. Win your last 2 games, and UNLV, they won last night against Hawaii, so they need him to lose at Nevada next Saturday. Nevada beat Wyoming. Nevada suddenly has won 2 in a row. San Diego State wins their last 2 games, or loses to San Jose State tonight. They were up 11-0 in the first half. 11-3, I'm told, as San Jose State got 3 runs in the 7th inning. It's 11-3 now. So, I mean, that's just a tip of the iceberg, easiest path. So a lot of stuff has to happen. But both coaches were quite upfront with us this week and said, look, I know there's a lot of scenarios. We don't pay much attention to that. We just have to win this game.
The message is just focusing on what you can control, right? And for Fresno State, and Utah State rather too, it's about winning. Winning one game at a time to finish the season.
Noah White with a fair catch. Well, if Fresno State does get to the championship game, it's going to be on the shoulders of their defense.
No doubt about it, and they've been nothing but disruptive tonight. This Utah State offense having trouble finding a rhythm. Their defensive line has been strong up front, and their secondary has been disciplined in the back end in terms of blocking of the receivers. You see it right there, a couple sacks tonight, a handful of tackles for loss. This defensive line and linebackers, this front 7, doing the job.
Utah State's given up 37 sacks this year. That's the stat. This is 1st and 10. That's a run by Miles Davis. Some of those sacks, though, are actually quarterback runs, and Bryson Barnes getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So not all of those are just plain passing situation sacks.
Yeah, we talked to offensive coordinator Coach McGivern about that. He just kind of laughed and said, I don't know how many of those are, but quite a few that alters that number.
Oh, now that time it looked like a run, and then a throw. It's going to be an incompletion, I think.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 3rd down.
The low throw and almost a nice catch by Brock Lane.
You know, the meat and potatoes of this offense, Rich, is the run-pass option, where Barnes has the option to give it to a running back, run it himself, or throw it. A lot of times he'll attack the line of scrimmage like he's running and then throw it. There's not a lot of teams in the country that run it better than Utah State, but they haven't been successful tonight against Fresno State.
3rd and 7, Bulldogs bring in pressure. Barnes stands in, fires, and it's knocked down. Brady Boyd, the intended receiver, and Simeon Harris on the coverage.
Utah State, at some point, they're going to have to do a better job protecting Bryson Barnes. Getting up a little slow right there, taking another big hit. But how about the coverage there by Simeon Harris? Boom, there's a hit right there on Bryson Barnes.
That's close. That's close to targeting.
No, you're right. You're right about that, Rich. But Harris there sticking on the receiver, Brady Boyd, and making a nice play to force 4th down.
I didn't say it was. I'm just saying it was pretty close. That's not a great kick.
That's his 2nd one that he's botched tonight.
That almost lands in the injury tent, which is appropriate for that kick. Great field position for Fresno State. They have the lead. 5.5 left in the first half. Bryson Barnes is a tough guy. He's getting knocked around tonight. It's a big hat, as Norm Macdonald would say. It's funny. And you got the bucket hat going too. Pretty sweet. CBS Sports Network coverage. College football continues. Friday noon Eastern, Kent State, Northern Illinois. And then New Mexico against San Diego State. That should be a whale of a game. That could be a preview. Yeah. I mean, they could play one week and then the next week play again for the Mountain West Championship. Longest droughts, New Mexico, 1964 Turbo. Wyoming, 1993. UNLV, 94. And 98 for Air Force.
I'm a little surprised about that Air Force one. They've had some really, really good teams over the years.
This is great field position. The football out of the injury tent after a 22-yard punt. Donaldson to the 46. Noah Avenger made the stop.
So Fresno State is getting the ball after halftime. Look at the total yards for both teams. They're dominating down on the ground. Fresno State 124 yards right now. That's what they want to do. That was the game plan coming in tonight. And ball control was also part of the game plan. So with about 5 minutes left to go in this first half, they want to continue to control the clock, especially with them getting the ball in the second half here to start.
Warner rolls, escapes one hit, gets bounced out of bounds. Short of the first down at the 42. So another third down and looks like 2.
And I think, again, just the decision-making from E.J. Warner, that's the part that is different tonight from him. Not forcing it downfield. And
that's late right there.
It is a little late bump there by Ike Larson. He wanted that flag. Just a little love tap. Just a little love tap right there.
Buckethead kid is getting taxed, getting some love. Third down 2. Warner, quick throw on the money. But on the ground, no catch. Freeman couldn't hold it. And now a familiar down for Fresno State. 4th down and 2.
Incomplete.
It's their best wide receiver there, Noah Avenger. Good technique, doesn't give up on the football.
He rips it loose.
Yeah, that left hand there, able to rip that ball out of the receiver's hands. That's a critical play right here to force a punt from Fresno State.
Bulldogs are 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Verdugo to punt. Kahanu Davis is deep. Verdugo waits for the Gunners to get depth. And it bounces by 1 and then rolls out of bounds. That's a great punt. Out at the 5. And backed up now with 4:15 left in this first half is Utah State. 37-yard punt. Hey, even punters like to mix it up. That's...
that was a little golf swing right there?
Yeah. It's kind of a little punter English trying to move the ball out of bounds.
I think for Utah State offensively, look, the area that they have not really done well tonight is run the football. And they want to be explosive offensively. They want big plays down the field, but they have to get Miles Davis going on the ground.
There goes Miles Davis. Across the 15. That's 11 yards out to the 16-yard line. Miles Davis, graduate transfer from BYU, Las Vegas native, averaging 65 yards a game.
He actually was a wide receiver in high school and made the transition over the running back when he got to college.
This time, Davis gets lost behind that offensive front. And in comes Corey Foreman and Michael Jordan Jr.
Corey Foreman, he's having a heck of a game tonight. Defensive coordinator Nick Benedetto called him a pass rush specialist, but he's also getting it done on the ground tonight. It's 89 right there. Mordecai Hines making the initial hit.
Yes, it was not It was not Michael Jordan. It was Mordecai Hines. 2nd and 11. Quick throw. There's Pagan with the catch. Fresno State has kept the wraps on this talented receiver, the transfer from UCLA, Braden Pagan, with the catch of 15 yards and a first down.
Yeah, it was really interesting. He's getting up a little slow there. Utah State wants to run tempo. He's got to get lined up.
That throw is behind the receiver, and out of necessity, with a blitz coming, looked like Ryan Wilson on a blitz.
And when you're not able to run the football successfully, it's hard to protect the quarterback. And a nice job there by Nick Benedetto dialing up Ryan Wilson. He likes to bring safeties on blitz packages, and right there disrupting the timing.
Davis in the backfield. Barnes pulls it. He has not been able to run the ball at all. Finn Claypool making the stop.
Right off the edge, not fooled by the fake at all. They're going directly to Bryson Barnes that time. Finn Claypool getting a tackle for loss. We'll see if Utah State wants to try to get a snap off here before the 2-minute timeout. They will.
Outside to Pagan, going nowhere. Fresno State's going to get the ball back with 2 minutes left, and they do get the ball to start the second half as well. It's a really, really good defense.
This is the
Titus Kajabi with that stop. Fresno State on top. It's 10-7. Starting to get a little colder here tonight in Fresno. 10-7. Bulldogs at home and on top. Final 2 minutes of this first half. Verizon halftime reports coming up. Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, Beanie Wells get you caught up on this game and all the action around the country. Some West Coast games to look in on as well. It's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Heisman Trophy. Heisman watch quarterbacks, right? Mendoza, Sayin, and Reed. I know that that bothers you, doesn't it, right? It's like there's never any running backs. It's all about quarterbacks.
Just don't miss any other position, you know. That's all.
Landon Rico gonna punt it here. Alaulu is there to make the catch. All right, Turbo, look what we got for you, buddy.
Got something for me? Okay. We got a defensive guy in there. Look at that. Jacob Rodriguez. He's having a heck of a season, by the way. At Texas Tech. Jeremiah Smith, probably my favorite to win the Heisman this season. We'll see. I like a little love for the running backs right there, Notre Dame. Okay, Rich, I appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, our crack research staff felt badly for you that you and your running back buddies feel left out. This is a nice opportunity for Fresno State. Quick throw from Warner. That's McClain with the catch. Excellent open field hit there. Fresno has the ball to start the second half. They can win the middle of this game. They can put points on the board with this drive and then get the ball first in the third quarter.
They don't have to be in such a rush right here. Still got 2 timeouts. Still open to run the football as well.
Warner has been pinpoint with his throws. That's Richie Anderson, the tight end. He's still up. And 14 or 15 yards later, that's a first down.
Keep in mind, on a first down, clock stops while the chains reset. Richie Anderson, Josh Davis, offensive coordinator, said we want to get him the ball 6 to 8 times a game.
That's Freeman with the catch. Clock will stop with a timeout. Fresno State's calling a timeout. Freeman makes the catch. Tell you what, E.J. Warner has had issues with
Fresno State. It's their second and a half. 30 seconds in lane.
They've had trouble with interceptions. He has in particular, but not tonight. He's been accurate.
Yeah, he's made really smart decisions tonight. He's taken the checkdowns when the checkdowns are there. He's used his feet when there's been open field for him to be able to do so, and he's thrown the football away as well. There's his dad, Kurt Warner, I'm sure he's somewhat satisfied with the way his son has been playing tonight. You know, us fathers were always hard on our young boys, but here supporting EJ tonight, and he has done well. In this situation here, it's all about being smart.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 8 seconds. 1:08, please.
You know, so obviously you want to protect the football. That's number one. But the second thing that gets a little lost here is you can't take a sack in these situations either. EJ got to be smart with the ball.
2nd and 5, 1 timeout left for Fresno State. They'll keep it on the ground. Bouncing out is Luke. Smartly gets out of bounds. Brings up 3rd down. And this is going to be about 3rd down and 5. Matt Entz pacing.
Yeah, that last 3rd down play, they put Josiah Freeman on the right side of the formation in one-on-one coverage to try to hit him on a slant route. He's typically the guy that can make plays in these situations. I look for E.J. Warner to target him right here.
5 receiver look. 3rd down 5. Warner steps up, fires over the middle, on the mark. Is it held or ripped? Freeman has it, and he holds on to it. The defensive backs thought he had dropped it, but Freeman held this one.
Here it is. Thought he would look for Freeman, and he does so there.
Another throw, this one incomplete. And that was Cameron Beecham, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Bobby Arnold. Boy, almost had a big-time hit right there on that one. Beecham just not able to haul that one in.
50 seconds left. 1 timeout left. 2nd and 10.
I think there's a space at some point here for Fresno State to try to take a deep shot.
Warner scrambling, looking, he throws, got him in! McClain has the catch, has the touchdown! There's your shot.
You know, we've been talking about the wisdom. Look at Kurt Warner. There it is right there. We've been talking about the wisdom of E.J. Warner all night tonight. Buys himself a little bit of time. They got a deep outside route. Freeman on the go route there. And then McClain coming across the middle. They were thinking about taking a deep shot. And they're able to execute it for a touchdown, Rich.
That's a seismic score. His parents are here. E.J. Warner back as the starting quarterback, and he has shined tonight. Turbo time.
Well, here it is. They go deep here, and then boom, boom, across the middle to set this play up. And E.J. Warner buys himself a little bit of time. What a throw, what a catch. Got to be careful with the football right there. Able to hold on to it, though, and get the touchdown for Fresno State. They were thinking shot play, Rich. I thought it was a good time for them to take one at that particular moment. They do, and they're able to execute to spread this score out.
We talked about it from the outset. Fresno State, the last 2 games, started Carson Conklin at quarterback and did so with a heavy ground game. Tonight, they made the change back to E.J. Warner, who lost his job because of interceptions. And man, has it paid off. He's 12 of 15, 129 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. And they didn't leave a whole lot of time on the clock for Utah State. He's going to return this one is Noah White. And up the left sideline, White with a nifty return is out to the 32-yard line.
I think that was a jump that Utah State needed. Usually they fair catch on their kickoff returns, but they haven't gotten anything going offensively. And so where can we find a spark? Maybe it's on special teams. A nice return there by Noah White.
Please reset the game clock to 34 seconds. 3-4, please.
Just a reminder, and this includes this game, 34 possessions, 31 stops, 17 points allowed, and just 3.2 yards per play. Low snap, Barnes scrambling, throws, and Pagan trying to catch it, does. It's going to stop the clock with a first down.
Utah State has 3 timeouts, plenty of time to get themselves at least into field goal range.
Clock starts under 20. Fresno State took a timeout. Didn't like what they saw. Matt Entz right now.
Timeout, Fresno State. It's their third and final of the half.
And I think a really wise timeout there by Coach Entz. Defense, excuse me, a big play by Utah State there. Now your defense is on their heels as we take another look at, did he have full possession of that football? It looks like that is a catch.
Gonna need another angle if you're reviewing that. So you lost about 8 seconds there. Unless there was a timeout called there. The timeout was called when the timeout was called. So they're not putting more time on the clock, I don't think.
That's gonna remain a catch there, but a defense able to reset now for Fresno State after the timeout.
Barnes spins away, racing for the sideline, and he gets there. At the 42, there's 12 seconds left, and they still have all their timeouts.
Well, you want to talk about the toughness and the playmaking by Bryson Barnes. There it is right there. Fresno State seemingly has him bottled up for another sack.
To 13 seconds, 1-3.
And he's able to get out of it and scramble for a first down.
Remember, Tanner Rinker had a tough night in Vegas, missing 3 field goals. He's not attempted one here tonight. Rush comes. Barnes has time, fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. Garcia, that would have been a really nice catch. As it is, there's 8 seconds left, and they probably need about 8 to 10 yards to really get into field goal range.
And that would have been a really nice catch, Rich, but against a team...
Game clock to 9 seconds.
Why can't they get this clock correct tonight, Rich?
Well, they're really leaning on the clock operator right now.
Anthony Garcia's got to make that catch, Rich. You're not going to get very many clean opportunities like that against this Fresno State secondary.
Utah State, it's their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Some good pipes there by Ken Ray, the referee. So I think this extra second is significant now, because if you're Utah State, you're beyond the target line. I mean, a field goal at this point is going to be like a 60-yarder. And there's Rinker, who had just a nightmare last week. And we talked at length with Bronco Mendenhall about how he handled the disappointment and the chances to win the game. They said, look, our framework takes care of this. First thing is grab the good. We played so well in every area except that one. Fix the fixable. You talked about the field goals that they did and the atmosphere they gave Rinker this week, and he passed every test. So here we go. 2 more timeouts, but only 9 seconds left. Final moments, first half. Barnes is going to scramble, got to get down eventually, and he does. And the clock will stop there with 3 seconds left. Had he gone for another 10, 15 yards and been tackled, the half would have been over.
Well, he wouldn't have done that. If you notice,
it was a first down. Timeout, Utah State. It's their second and a half. 30 seconds in length.
So this were the struggles. Remember, they had a kick to win it in regulation, a kick to win it in overtime. They missed actually an extra point. Then they had this miscommunication. That was the one in regulation. This was the one in overtime. Both those kicks would have ended the game. That extra point, had it gone through, would have also been a difference maker. Rinker 10 of 10 on the season before last week.
Well, he'll have an opportunity to redeem himself, and he'll need this one for a confidence boost. What I was going to say, though, was Bryson Barnes was looking at the scoreboard while he was running, Rich. Very smart play right there. He was going to get down in time. But as for Rinker right here, a big moment for him to get his confidence back.
This is from 46 yards. Snap is good. And the kick is not.
I think that was blocked, Rich.
It may have been. And the half is over. And the kicking woes for Utah State continue.
Bryson Barnes, you see it on his face, not happy about that. Neither is Bronco Mendenhall. Let's see what happened right here. There is a snap hold. And he just,
he just hooked it. Yeah, and badly.
It wasn't even close. He's in that when you go 10 for 10, Rich, and you have a tough week last week, and you get your first opportunity on a night like tonight, and the kick goes like that. To me, that's an indication of somebody who's in their head right now. And confidence level of Bryson Barnes, you see him just disappointed. Confidence level not where it needs to be.
So Utah State comes up empty and trails 17-7. After the break, Brent Stover and the crew in New York. You're watching college football. CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Critical game here, especially for Fresno State. Kubota first half stats. 256 yards of total offense, 127 of them on the ground, but 129 through the air, and that's significant as Fresno State has built a 17-7 halftime lead. Fresno State gets the ball to start this second half. Rich Waltz on with Robert Turbin. Brandon Baylor joins us shortly. The story here tonight, E.J. Warner, who lost his starting quarterback job about 2 weeks ago, gets it back tonight, and he has really shined.
Yeah, he's been exceptional tonight, Rich, particularly with his decision-making, being smart with the football, not putting it in harm's way, taking what the defense has given him, and then being able to utilize his legs as well. So he's taking the checkdowns, he's thrown the football away, and when there's been some space for him to be able to use his feet, he's done that as well, whether it's being able to get yards or extend plays to be able to throw the ball down the field, like an example right there for that touchdown. Kurt Warner, his father, NFL Hall of Famer, I'm sure he's proud of what he's seen from his son tonight.
You noted it, Fresno State feeling like they had to juice that passing game. Warner's thrown for a lot of yards in his career. He's had a couple stops before this, Temple and Rice. And Fresno State with a chance to really win the middle minutes of this game with that late touchdown drive to finish the first half. And now they get the ball to start the second half. This is Rayshawn Luke, who had a big first half. So did Brandon Baylor. And he's down below. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, I had a chance to speak to both coaches, and starting with Coach Hintz, the one thing he wanted to talk about, the same thing we're all talking about, E.J. Warner and what he saw from him, saying, I like the way he was able to take care of the ball and keep the offense balanced with the run and passing attack. On top of that, taking care of the ball. That was the biggest thing that Hintz mentioned. On the opposite side for Coach Mendenhall, he told me it's very simple to his guys in the locker room. Execute, carve our way back into this game.
Thank you, Brandon. And by the way, early out and practicing a lot of field goal kicks was Tanner Rinker, who had a nightmare week last week and missed a field goal to finish off the first half, which would have made it a one-score game, and a 3-yard carry there. Rayshawn Luke. First 7 games, 12 turnovers, 9 picks, 3 fumbles. Tonight, he's been really accurate. He's been mobile, too. He's thrown a lot of balls on the run tonight.
And that's really, one of the big differences between him and Carson Conklin, who replaced him the last, few weeks. More of a pocket passer. Conklin is. E.J. Warner has shown the ability tonight to be able to be mobile in and outside the pocket.
That one incomplete. Jake Tarwater, the intended receiver, the junior out of South Lake Tahoe.
The nickname for Jake Tarwater is Bulldog for this Fresno State football team, known mostly for his ability to block and gets a heavy run scheme there, but sometimes gets some targets there and not able to haul that one in.
They're down 7. Warner scrambles, looking downfield, flicks it down the sideline, and it's into the bench and incomplete. And so if you're looking for some momentum, Utah State with a 3-and-out, and they'll get the football back early here in the 3rd.
Just a perfect start for Bronco Mendenhall in this Utah State defense, forcing a 3-and-out in the coverage again. You see it right here, boom, boom, boom. These guys locked on to these targets down the field, and E.J. Warner just nowhere to go.
Kahanu Davis deep for Utah State. Verdugo, not a big leg. It's a punt for Fresno State. And that's his best punt of the night. And that's Davis trying to get to the sideline, and he is swallowed up, losing yardage on the return, the 22-yard line. And that Verdugo excited about the punt and the coverage.
He's had a couple exciting punts tonight. Pinned Utah State inside the 5-yard line there in the first half. That time, a good punt and great coverage there, and he's excited about the execution there by that punt team.
We haven't talked enough yet here in the second half about Fresno State's defense. Look at what they've done to Utah State's offense, which is one of the best in the Mountain West.
They've been overwhelming.
This is Bryson Barnes, and Barnes is out to the 40. And that's one thing that they've done is kept Barnes from the big runs. He's had a few that he's popped for about 7 or 8 yards.
Well, they know he's the key that unlocks this offense into being explosive. And so you've got 11 guys on defense, and all 11 guys got eyes on Bryson Barnes.
18-yard run there. Davis the carry to the 40. Get to know Bryson Barnes. He said getting to play for Bronco Mendenhall kind of brings his career full circle, because I mean, here's a guy that's played for, he didn't play for BYU, but he's playing for a former BYU coach. He played at Utah, played in some meaningful games at Utah, bowl games.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's at Utah State. Had a nice year last year and just a wonderful year this year. 2nd and 10, rolling, throwing, on the money, caught by Pagan, right at the stick, right at the 50-yard line. That's a first down.
And just going back to Bryson Barnes, as we take a look at the replay there, this first down, he told me, he said, Utah State feels like the place he was always supposed to be at. And he's so grateful that he ended up there. It just felt like the perfect fit for him to finish off his career.
Mendenhall said he's the toughest player he's ever coached. And Bronco Mendenhall has coached a lot of players. Jaden Peterson getting the hit there, and that one looked like it took a toll on Barnes, who bounced off the surface.
Well, we've seen some grimace on the face of Bryson Barnes on a handful of occasions tonight. And you love the toughness, but these other guys are going to have to start stepping up here in the second half.
2nd down 6. First possession, second half. Utah State. Barnes in trouble. Hits, slips a tackle, and ends up gaining 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 for the Aggies. And Barnes, man, is just taking a lot of punishment.
Yeah, these hits are going to start to take a toll at some point. They're rolling out to the left. Secondary does a nice job for Fresno State guarding up against the receiving core of Utah State. Nobody open. But a nice job by Bryson Barnes, just making a little something out of nothing there.
It's great that he can run like this, but man, when your quarterback keeps taking hits, that's dangerous.
Haven't seen the running backs utilized in the pass game much tonight, Rich.
That's Davis in motion, and Davis makes the catch, and Turbo, great call. He's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. They love to throw to the running backs, but you're right, they haven't done it much tonight.
It's a big piece to their offense, and with this cornerback group, this secondary doing such a nice job on the wide receivers tonight, Fresno State, these running backs for Utah State have to get involved more in the passing game.
Brady Boyd, and now Bryson Barnes, little play action there. This is Garcia actually racing up the right sideline, and Garcia is out of bounds all the way back up at the 29-yard line. So he stepped out of bounds.
So he steps in there as the Wildcat quarterback. He's going to fake like he's going to toss it there to Bryson Barnes. Garcia's got to stay in bounds right here. Look at this, Rich. Know where you're at. That could have been a much bigger play. A nice job blocking out in front. I think he's got to do a better job knowing where he's at, better body control, and stay in bounds. Nonetheless, a big-time first down for Utah State.
Yeah, he's made a couple big plays, including a touchdown pass back in the first half. That's Jacobs in motion. Sidearm throw. How about that? Brady Boyd. You know, arm slots are usually reserved for pitchers and stuff, but this arm slot is pretty impressive here.
Is this you, Rich, right here making the play at shortstop?
That's right. Just
the
a
first.
Flip. Just make the flip. Get the out.
Here it
Brady
is.
Boyd with the catch. This is an impressive drive here for Utah State. Remember, they missed a field goal to finish the first half. 44-yarder. Davis, flag down. Davis is down as well, right at the stick. He might have had the first down, but it feels like this flag is going to bring it back.
Holding. Number 65 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
You know, it just feels like every time Utah State has got something going on offense, there's Tavo right there. He gets called for the holding penalty. Yep. That left arm. It's a penalty that pushes them back, Rich.
Second down, 13. More movement, more flags.
Bryson Barnes getting on Javon Jacobs right there. He's got to know he's got to go in motion.
55 offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
All right. This is a question that needs to be asked at this point as we take a look at the replay of this false start. And the question is Utah State 4-down territory now, or do they keep running their field goal kicker out there? He's missed another field goal tonight, his only attempt. He had 3 misses last week. The throw is on the money, and a diving catch by Davis. Kahanu Davis on a nice throw by Barnes. And let's see where they mark it. I think that's is that a third down?
It's a nice job by Bryson Barnes getting outside of the pocket. Watch at the middle of your screen. There's Boyd right there. He comes open. He's rolling out to his right. Doesn't quite see him. If he does, that might be a touchdown.
It's not a first down. It's third down and less than a yard. There's Rinker, the field goal kicker. Barnes is going to plow ahead, and he's got the first down to the 14.
Nonetheless, Rich, it did put them in a nice third and manageable situation, overcoming those penalties on that drive.
Barnes just gets up slower and slower with every tackle on this drive.
No doubt.
Verizon Red Zone. National average of touchdown percentage is at 60. Bronco Mendenhall's team at 66%. That's a good clip.
And with Rinker having trouble with the field goals tonight, this really alters the strategy for Utah State. They need a touchdown.
Davis straight ahead. Yeah, I mean, that's the question. Is it how often do you keep going to a kid who was a perfect 10 of 10 to start the season, missed 3 kicks last week, including an extra point, and missed his only kick tonight, and he missed it badly. He hooked it wide, way wide left. Second down and 7. You feel for the kid. That's a direct snap to Davis. Barnes kind of shifted to the right, and they didn't get anything out of that. So it was 2nd down and 7. This is 3rd down and 7.
And really, Rich, you don't see a lot of Miles Davis in those Wildcat situations, but I think Coach McGibbon, offensive coordinator, noticing how slow Bryson Barnes is getting up. And so maybe taking him out of some of those hits there on those quarterback design runs.
Need 7 for the 1st down. Fresno State's going to blitz. Looked like they were offside. The catch is made inside the 5. And that's Pagan. Let's see if it's a 1st down. It is.
I'm with you, Rich. It looked like Fresno State was initially lined up offsides as they're trying to get lined up correctly. Utah State takes a snap there. They leave a rusher free. You never want to see that if you're a quarterback, but
that's a
nice
tight window for a throw.
It's a nice job by Pagan and good accuracy there by Bryson Barnes.
Utah State on the doorstep. This is Barnes again getting blasted and falls forward inside the 2. Fresno State player late getting up. That's Jakari Embry, a corner.
I expect Utah State to try to get this ball into the end zone. On the ground, you see heavier personnel coming in. Josh Sturzer, 6'3", 230, tight end into the game. The other tight end, Cash Kaihu.
Barnes, a little trickery there. And again for a touchdown. It's Garcia to Barnes.
Well, they go with a little Philly special, Rich.
This is unbelievable. Anthony Garcia, the wide receiver, is 6 for 6 with 4 touchdowns this year.
At some point, I think Bryson Barnes might start to get a little jealous tonight.
No, he gets to catch this one.
He does get to catch one. It's good execution down there by Utah State.
Now Rinker on for the extra point. And he knocks this one through. That's a good shot of confidence you hope for the young man. He's exhausted as this Bryson Barnes. Taking the hits and making a catch. Garcia's thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight. It's a 3-point game. Bronco Mendenhall and Utah State creative on that last touchdown. The Chili's play of the game. How about this? This was first half. Look at this. Wide receiver. Nah, he's actually a quarterback. They turned into a wide receiver. And that's Anthony Garcia. There's Garcia again. This time it's Barnes. And Garcia has thrown for 2 touchdowns tonight. He's thrown 4 on the season. He's a perfect 6 of 6 this year. And by the way, he's also caught like 18 balls.
The question, though, for Utah State is, you know, how much deeper in the playbook can you continue to go to make plays against the Fresno State defense? Both of those touchdowns have been off trick plays. You can only run so many of those in the game successfully.
You can, but I think the thing that helps is that Garcia is an actual quarterback playing wide receiver. So he's not just throwing it up there. He's making pretty good decisions. Luke out to the 25. Tomorrow, count on the NFL on CBS for another great slate of games. MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor and the Colts running into Kansas City to face Mahomes and the Chiefs. Steelers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. The Chiefs trying to equal the Patriots' run of 11 straight postseasons. How about the Browns back in 46 and 55?
Unbelievable. Long ways away from that.
Yeah, we are, thankfully. This is a rugby scrum.
I like how you said MVP candidate. Jonathan Taylor,
Yes,
by the way. I
running back.
appreciate that.
We've got to, recognize the running backs on this. It feels like that Utah State drive and their stop of Fresno State to start this half is a little bit of a momentum shift in this game.
It is, Rich, but for Fresno State, the best way for them to answer is to go back to their core, which is the ground game.
Tarwater in motion. They follow Tarwater. That's Arsenault, who breaks loose and is racing up the sideline. Jonathan Arsenault knocked out of bounds inside the 30. Run down by Ike Larson. And there's a late flag down.
Don't forget, Jonathan Arsenault last week had that big run down the right sideline to open up the game offensively for Fresno State.
The officials in conference right now, 44 yards on the Arsenault run.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike, number 0 on the offense. It'll be 15 yards to the end of the run. This is a first unsportsmanlike on number 0 towards disqualification.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. That's a.
Ike standing over him.
That feels like weak sauce. Right?
That was a legitimate laugh that you just made me do right there.
I don't know.
No,
Come
he
on.
stands up and I don't think he was purposely headbutting. I think he just stood up. Ike is standing over him. What does he want him to do? I don't agree with that one.
I'm with you on that. Even the crowd doesn't like it. Rashawn Luke with the carry. It's a significant penalty, obviously. It backs him up.
The fact that you said weak sauce lets me know that you're a real East Bay kid.
That's right. We are. You and I are products of the East Bay, and proud of it.
It was around this area in the second quarter where Fresno State took a shot down the field.
E.J. Warner threw a great strike for a touchdown. A little slant there to Josiah Freeman. This will be a third down and about 6.
So he stands up. Oh, he does purposely headbutt him.
But, Ike's in there, too.
He's in there. He's in there. You could have called it on both sides. Both teams tonight, Rich, on third down, offensively haven't been successful. This is a big opportunity for Utah State to get another stop here on the second drive of this second half to get the ball to their offense. Critical for Fresno State to keep the ball moving.
It's a handoff on 3rd and 6. I mean, just a straight handoff.
And usually...
And that was Gilliam, their short yardage running back. They didn't. This was not short yardage. This was 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, the play call surprised me there a little bit, Rich. And typically, if you're going to run the ball, it's an indication that you want to go for it on 4th down. But you're not really in a manageable situation yardage-wise. I thought a conservative call right there by offensive coordinator Josh Davis.
Little end over end kick. Good special teams work all night long by Fresno State. And Verdugo is dancing again. He's having a pretty good night. That's the second time he's pinned him in tight. 17-14, Fresno State. College football, CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. 3-point game, Fresno State, Utah State. 2 minutes left in the third. Bryson Barnes, terrific quarterback for Utah State. Man, he has taken his lumps tonight.
He sure has. This Fresno State defense has been all over 16 tonight, and that was a strategy coming in. I mean, they wanted to make things hard on Bryson Barnes. They really have, not only, from a schematic standpoint, but physically. And they've tried to wear him down.
Again, Bronco Mendenhall called him the toughest player he's ever coached. And, of course, Mendenhall, 6 years at Virginia as a head coach, 11 years at BYU, 11 bowl games in 11 years at BYU, by the way. New Mexico last year, Utah State this year. We'll swing it out to Jacobs. And he's out to the 8-yard line. I think they found their guy for the next, however many years. I don't think Bronco Mendenhall's jumping ship quickly like we're seeing across the landscape of college football. Gary Anderson, of course. Miley was a interim guy. Blake Anderson.
Miley was my teammate.
He was.
Yeah.
That's right. Popular guy. Oh, ball's loose. Fresno State has it. Davis had the ball, lost it. My goodness. Pearson fell on it.
And he got popped right there by one of the premier players in the Mountain West. I believe that was Cameron Braca, who's the captain of this defense. He's the green dot. Here he comes. Boom.
Yep, it's Braca again. Pearson with the recovery.
The former Utah State Aggie. And you talk about a defense, look, they're stingy. Fresno State has forced a turnover in each of the last 3 games.
And that play absolutely embodies what Braca is about. Warner going quickly up, end zone, corner, incomplete. No flag. Abbott, the intended receiver.
Avenger's really a good young corner. He had to play safety for a good chunk of time with Ike Larson being out at the start of the season. When Ike Larson came back, he's able to go back to his natural position. And, he's had a road himself. Started at San Diego State, then New Mexico, now here at Utah State. And he said this is the most enjoyable college season he's had in his career.
Free receiver look up top with 3 DBs on him. Warner goes to the near side. Freeman with the catch. And Avenger knocks him out of bounds. It's gonna be 3rd down and a long 2. This has been a familiar down for Fresno State tonight. They've had a few of these. Fresno State not great on 3rd down in this one. They're 2 of 9.
Here comes big Brandon Ramirez, number 31. That's their short yardage back. I think they fake it to him here, Rich. See if they can get E.J. Warner in space.
There's the fake. Warner looks, throws, tipped, and picked. Intercepted. That's Olival. And look at Utah State's sideline.
What a response by Utah State's defense.
Miles Davis is like, all right. And he pops back. The throw was tipped. And it's the first pick of the night.
And the first bad decision tonight by E.J. Warner.
Pass interference. Number 5 on the offense. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is an interception. First down, Utah State. This will be immediate timeout.
Offensive interference declined, turnover. Bronco Mendenhall and Utah State answers right back. This is a fun game here in Fresno tonight. There's the tip, there's the pick, and here's our commercial. E.J. Warner had played pretty flawlessly up until this last throw.
Yeah, so Warner's going to roll out here, and they're trying to get Tarwater there in the flat, and he's got him open, Rich, for a second right there. Just lob it. You just got to lob it over and throw it towards the numbers and let him run under it. Didn't like it, and then decides to throw across his body, which is, really one of the #1 rules for a quarterback not to do, and just outstretched for Josiah Freeman. And Olival able to come with the interception.
So they trade turnovers. Barnes rolling and dumps it out of bounds. Jacobs, the intended receiver. 30 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Fresno State at a 10-point halftime lead.
That drive that Utah State put together at the start of this 3rd quarter, it was really centered around the run game. And it's hard for an offensive coordinator when you fumble the ball to continue to trust it, but it's the staple there to get you guys going.
And part of that run game was this guy, Bryson Barnes. He's, you know, one of the things that makes him unique as a quarterback, he doesn't run and then slide. And he doesn't run and then try to get to the sideline. He stays between the tackles an awful lot.
Almost feels like he's a running back playing quarterback.
Not much time left in this quarter. See if they get a snap off. They do. No whistle. Barnes, surprised by the snap, fires it down the field, and it's incomplete. Anthony Garcia, the intended receiver. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. It almost looked like somebody moved before the snap.
That was the strategy there. All they were trying to do, Utah State, was get a free play, utilizing their snap count in that situation. Looks like they executed it to perfection.
And they'll probably, let's wait on the verdict from Ken Ray. Yeah, look, you saw that snap. There was a second left before it got back to the quarterback. There's what I think the flag is right there. And I think the Fresno State player was still across the line.
Looked like Braca. Couldn't tell initially. Coach Mendenhall doesn't look happy right now.
After further discussion, the third quarter time expired. It's the end of the quarter, and there is no penalty for defensive offsides. This is immediate timeout.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
2-1. Jumps offside. Oh, yeah.
So is he offside before the... Bronco Mendenhall doesn't like it. So there's no penalty. So it never happened. Let's go to the fourth. It's 17-14. Big hat, big game. 17-14. Fresno State. Moments ago, their head coach Matt Entz with Brandon Baylor.
Coach, you got a 3-point lead heading into fourth quarter. What needs to happen on both sides of the ball?
We need to get a stop. We got to convert down in the red zone. We got to get points out of those opportunities. Defense did a great job creating a takeaway, and we're coming away with 0. That stings. So we just need to be more efficient. Got to be better on third down right now. It's a big opportunity for us.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Here is that third down for Utah State. Barnes firing sideline. Caught there. Pagan has the first down. Braden Pagan hardly saw any passes thrown his way at UCLA. Man, he's had just a terrific year this year.
Yeah, and I asked offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern about, how'd you know this guy could play? And he leaned on the coaching staff that was there, although he didn't get game time. Great practice skills, and that's how they recruited him.
Well, that ball's on the floor, and Barnes has to pick it up, but there's also a flag and a whistle, and that's procedure.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Motua Pauka.
There he is right there. These are the plays that have been the Achilles heel for Utah State, really all night. The penalties, hard to overcome against the Fresno State defense.
Davis and Jacobs in there at the same time. And this is Davis spinning off a tackle and then going down at the 30, a gain of maybe 2. Second down.
The other thing about Braden Pagan being a spectacular wide receiver is he talked about his wide receivers coach, Denarius McGee, who coached wide receivers for the Saints for a little while, and that was part of the inspiration for him to want to come to Utah State and be a part of this football team.
8 catches, 79 yards. You can see the numbers he's put up. Oh, that ball. Boyd on a slant was open. And he'd like to have that one back.
Boyd was a guy who had a really strong fall camp. And because of that, there were some big expectations for him. Thought that he would be the #1 guy. And certainly a huge piece of this offense. And in a game like tonight where every play is so critical, you have to come down with catches like that.
Third down, 13. Now what happened? But the operation of this offense right now is really wobbling.
False start. 55 on the offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
It's Jimmy Liston.
Yeah, it seems like every time Bryson Barnes is trying to vocalize a change at the line of scrimmage, he thinks it's a snap.
3rd and 18. Flags down. Might be a free play. Barnes goes down. So Fresno State gets to the quarterback. That's Claypool.
He's had himself a night tonight.
And Foreman was close by as well. So let's see. This offsides?
Offside. Number 0 on the defense. He was in the neutral zone. It's 5 yards from the previous spot. Still third down.
Oh, there he is there. Yeah. Just trying to get an early start. Didn't get back in time.
And you saw Liston, the center, see him and snap it early. So 3rd down at 13.
Utah State really trying to mix up these snap counts here.
This is going to be a run. And Barnes trying to get outside. He's got a chance. Wow. He's got the first down.
So this is all Bryson Barnes. He goes to the line of scrimmage. They change up the snap count. Then he goes up and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is a guy that has full autonomy at the line of scrimmage and basically calls the plays based on what the defense is doing pre-snap. And they execute it to perfection there to get the first down.
13 yards on that run. Barnes rolling. Fires. Sideline. Incomplete. Garcia, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down and 10. Azilian Hamilton with the coverage.
Yeah, haven't talked about Azilian Hamilton much tonight. Hasn't been involved. Utah State wanting to stay away from him in coverage, knowing here's a guy with 3 interceptions on the season. He can make plays on the football if you attack him.
He's like the fixer for this defense. Nick Benedetto, the defensive coordinator, said, whenever we're attacked, wherever we're attacked, that's where AZ goes. Barnes, a great move there. Pearson knocks him out of bounds. I'm telling you what, Bryson Barnes is just absolutely, I mean, I don't know how he's not exhausted.
He is exhausted. Look at the elusiveness right there. He just...
Yeah, but he's still making plays. I'd like to be that exhausted in life. Right?
No doubt. But in 3rd down situations like this where you haven't been able to execute at a high level, who are the other guys outside of number 16 who are going to come down and make big plays?
They've converted their last 5 third downs. Barnes, pocket, throws, over the middle, it's caught. Boyd has it, squeezes it at the 44-yard line. Barnes got bumped after the throw. That's another first down.
Well, Boyd made sure he didn't drop this one. Another route across the middle. Ball gets into his body. And Bryson Barnes, again, showing the toughness and standing there in the pocket.
Barnes pulls it, throws it, knocked down. Braca, who's been so active, got a hand on it, 2nd and 10.
So this is that run-pass option. Haven't seen that much tonight. It was the right read, but a nice job by Braca there to recover, get his hands up, and knock that football down.
2nd down, 10. Jacobs in motion. Barnes, lots of time. Looking, in trouble. Oh, that's a flag.
Yeah, that's a face mask.
That's a face mask. That's an avalanche of flags. Like 4 of them came flying down right at the 50-yard line. And Barnes, who's been tattered and battered and bruised, gets yanked around a bit too.
I wonder if Mordecai Hines knows he grabbed the face mask there. That was pretty egregious.
That's pretty hard to not know.
Personal foul, face mask, number 89 on the defense. It'll be 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So it's not point of foul, it's previous spot.
And Coach Matt Entz, in his interview with Brandon here earlier in the quarter there, made a great point. Last drive, Fresno State did a nice job creating a takeaway, and then they weren't able to respond. This is critical for this defense here. They need to make a big play to slow down this Utah State offense.
Blitz coming, and Jacobs through the middle is going to pick up a decent chunk of yardage to the 23. This Utah State offense, remember they stalled on that first drive of the game after moving it almost all the way down the field. They missed a field goal to finish the first half. What they don't want is what Bryson Barnes told us this week. We can't let UNLV beat us twice. They lost in just excruciating double overtime fashion, and they don't want to have that happen again. Barnes, up and over to the what can't this guy do? I mean, this is like Superman.
Well, he showed the elusiveness a few plays ago, and right there, showing the explosiveness. I mean, that's pretty impressive right there. And from your quarterback.
To be honest, when Bronco Mendenhall said he's the toughest guy I've ever coached, you thought maybe he was, maybe not being upright. He is, and that's a touchdown. Look at that. Jacobs breaks loose. 2 or 3 tackles. And he's in, and look who's on top. Utah State now takes the lead. Boy, a couple guys had a shot at him, and he escapes, and he's in, and another impressive second half drive. And they didn't even need Garcia to throw another pass from his wide receiver spot.
That was all determination right there by Jacobs.
Rinker for the extra point. And he knocks it through. 21-17. Fresno State absolutely needs to win this game if they want to have a shot at the championship game. But Utah State takes the lead. College football, CBS Sports Network, is presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Harbor Freight. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. By Subway's Festive Flavors. All your holiday favorites in one bite for a limited time. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
I guess those are current NFL players, because Turbo, you might have been in that montage that we kept going. The Carr brothers might have shown up, certainly, for Fresno State as well. 21-17, Utah State on top. They had the heartbreaking double overtime loss last week at UNLV. They haven't won a road game in forever. They're 0-7 dating back to last year. Rayshawn Luke, who when he's had the ball has been pretty electric, and he's nudged out of bounds. And we check in with Brandon Baylor.
Yeah, Rich, we've been talking about Bryson Barnes, but back in 2016 and 2019, they had a quarterback by the name of Jordan Love. And I had a chance to go down memory lane with him and talking about his 2018 season when that team went 11-2. They had a 10-game win streak. And he even mentioned his time playing against Fresno State that one time in 2019. He's originally from Bakersfield, California, and said he wasn't heavily recruited by them. He said he had a chip in that game on that shoulder and said it was great to go in this stadium and beat them here.
Yeah, Brandon, he had a great career at Utah State. Waited his turn in Green Bay, and it's worked out for him for sure. This guy, though, I mean, even Jordan Love would be impressed with the punishment that Bryson Barnes has taken tonight. Barnes, 19 carries, 88 yards, and none of those yards have been easy yards.
Those are running back stats right there.
Yes, and those are running back hits that he's been taking all night. E.J. Warner fires to the side. That's Anderson, the tight end. Short of the first down by about 2 yards. Second half possessions, not a lot for Fresno State.
Yeah, defense for Utah State has been pretty stout, and Coach Bronco Mendenhall talked about the importance of what they needed to do defensively was be gap sound against an offense that is capable of making big plays, especially on the ground. And not so much in the first half, but in the second half, they've done a nice job.
Elijah Gilliam, the short yardage back, is in. 3rd down and 2. Play action. Warner, little throw, and it's knocked down. Ike Larson making plays all night for Utah State.
Well, there's a reason why. He's a former All-American and one of the leaders and captains on this football team. You know, he was suspended to start the season, Rich. 5 games. And, you know, you wonder how a guy responds like that. We talked to defensive coordinator Nick Howell. He says, man, he's responded with flying colors back into the starting lineup and making plays like that.
Kahanu Davis is deep. Good kick from Verdugo. Fair catch called for and made. 9 minutes left in this game. Must win for Fresno State and for Utah State. Ike Larson, maybe he'll be on that NFL montage next year. Our game summary brought to you by Hampton Inn. 3rd down conversions looming large here. Fresno State not great tonight. Utah State has converted their last 6 3rd down conversions. And Bryson Barnes has been in the middle of everything.
Well, you talk about the improvement that they've had on 3rd down in the second half, in large part due to the playmaking of Bryson Barnes. And he's really opened up his can of worms, per se, in terms of his skill set as a football player, showing the elusiveness, the explosiveness, getting up in the air. He's done it all tonight.
He has taken a lot of hits. Fresno State shows blitz. Barnes is going to roll it up the middle on a quarterback draw for 11 more yards. He is closing in on 100 yards rushing. He's thrown for 176. This cat is unbelievable.
This offensive line done a pretty decent job opening up lanes for Bryson Barnes tonight as well.
Davis in the backfield. Utah State with the ball in a 4-point lead. Barnes fakes the option, puts his head down, and flies to the 45. That's 9 more yards. Look at his arm, how barked up it is. And he pops right back up.
Big time opportunity right now for Utah State to really stretch this lead. They feel like they've got some good momentum right now going offensively, and they are in attack mode.
Have you ever seen him slide? I mean, like
never.
Most quarterbacks. 2nd and 1. Yeah, I don't think that's going to get the job done. As Jacobs is stopped, this will be 3rd down and 1. You know, you look at his numbers, passing and rushing. It doesn't do it justice because the runs that he's had have all been tough yardage runs where he's been hit multiple times. Like even a running back would be all bruised up with the hits that he's taken.
No doubt.
3rd down 1. He'll keep it again. Up the middle again. That's the other thing, Turbo. A lot of his runs are between the tackles, and that's not normal for a running quarterback. Yeah, there are some runs, but it feels like 3/4 of his runs are between the tackles.
Yeah, he talked about how in the offseason, you know, he really built his body to be prepared for you know, games like this type of offensive style, and he's been productive.
It's another conversion there. Barnes loads up, fires down the sideline. Pagan there, flag goes down. That's interference. And Pagan is down, holding that right knee. And Barnes summoning as much strength as he had to make that throw.
One on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
But the concern now for Braden Pagan, who, as we've talked about, has had a breakout year after transferring from UCLA, will head to break, take a look. Oh, looked like he landed right on that left leg. We'll be back after this. 21-17. Utah State on the move. Coming up next, headed back to New York inside college football. All of this busy Saturday. Day games, afternoon games, night games. Right here on CBS Sports Network. You'll probably be able to break down the Mountain West championship game scenarios as well. Pagan was up and helped off the field, favoring, looks like that right leg. Miles Davis in the game now. Bryson Barnes, that's his favorite target. Pagan tonight with 8 catches for 79 yards, 58 catches on the season. 1st and 10. Not quite in field goal range is Utah State. That's Jacobs, and he's knocked over. Plus, it's not clear if they would attempt a field goal after last week and a missed field goal again at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they would at this particular time. I mean, they'd have to be real close, you know, to the goal line, I think, right now for Bronco Mendenhall to want to kick a field goal with Rinker.
Nice drive going, 7th play into 3-minute territory on the clock. Keeping it on the ground. This is Jacobs. This is a touchdown. Utah State is in the end zone again. 32 yards.
Watch Hamilton right here. He's lined up right here. It just feels like he got lost, Rich. He just stands there like he doesn't really know what's going on. And I think that's just the threat of Bryson Barnes. You think maybe the quarterback kept the football. You can't quite see what's coming, and then all of a sudden, Jacobs comes down the sideline for the touchdown.
Point is up and good. Utah State has owned the second half. Second touchdown run by Javen Jacobs, Bronco Mendenhall, and the Aggies. Heartbreak last week. A chance for a big road win this week.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Acura. Precision crafted performance. By Kubota, your compact equipment provider. And by Hampton by Hilton.
Fresno State at home but down 28-17, 6:05 left, home and away. Now, look, 0-7 away, but 2 of those road losses this year are to top 15 college football playoff teams. Vandy, who I believe is 14, and Texas A&M, who I want to say is number 3 in the college football playoff standings. So, and they should have won last week on the road against UNLV.
No doubt. Hawaii is always a tough trip. They got there a day later than they wanted to. And the New Mexico trip, Coach Bronco Mendenhall put on him.
Yeah, that was, for him, emotional return. Flag comes down at the 15-yard line. But, I mean, how impressive is this for Utah State after what they went through last week with a game they should have won? And not just should have won once or twice, but like 3 times.
Yeah.
And didn't.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 87 on the return team. It'll be half the distance, first down.
So we had to go back to last year to find the last road win for Utah State, and it was at altitude in Laradice, where it's not easy to win. All right, now, if you're Josh Davis, the offensive coordinator for Fresno State, the offense is not built to do this, or at least it hasn't had to do this. That throw to Richie Anderson, he's knocked over. The emotion right now spilling out of the Utah State sideline is palpable.
And I think you got to be in 2-minute mode. You see Fresno State offense right back to the line of scrimmage. Got to try to garner some rhythm here.
Warner steps through, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. That was the question that we asked at the start of this game, is if Fresno State fell behind, would they be able to throw to come back and win the game? And they've been doing it lately with the ground game, and the time of possession has swung to Utah State in this one.
And I think this is the issue for Fresno State tonight. They completely got out of their game plan. The game plan was to run the football tonight. Arsenal's only carried the ball 4 times. Lucas only carried the ball 4 times, and Darnelson has 9 carries.
Warner's throw on target there. That's Anderson with the catch, and that's a good start now for Fresno State. It gets them out from near the goal line and across the 25.
Yeah, a first down is always a way you can kickstart your offense to get going there.
Warner steps up, looking, scrambling to the sideline and sliding. Aside from one tipped pass that was picked, it's been a pretty good night for E.J. Warner.
Yeah, and a good decision right there. He tried to get to the sideline, not quite fast enough, but gets good yardage on first down and gets down.
Second down to the sideline. Freeman out of bounds. So the execution on this drive is pretty sharp, but they got to pick up a third down, and this has been the bugaboo for Fresno State in this game. Third down, they are 2 of 11 on third down.
Yeah, been their Achilles heel tonight. I expect them to hand this football off to try to convert.
Freeman in motion, blitz comes, Warner is sacked. Flying over the pile is Bronson Olivao.
I got to say, Rich, not quite sure I like the call. Third downs, you know Utah State, they like to bring pressure. Olivao, they're able to find a crease within that offensive line and get the sack.
This feels like ball game here. 4th down and 8. Throw, sideline, it's incomplete. And it was behind the intended receiver. And Fresno State gives the ball back to Utah State with 3:52 left, down 2 scores. Man, what a change in this game here in the second half.
Yeah, and it just felt like Fresno State offensively just pressing a little bit. Keep in mind, the last 2 weeks, Wyoming, Boise State, they ran the ball 40-plus times in those games. They won. The 2 weeks prior to that, Colorado State, San Diego State, they ran the ball less than 25 times in those games, and they lost. The formula has been written for you if you're Fresno State on how to win football games, and they've gotten away from it tonight.
Now, Utah State's going to try to run clock. San Diego State winners tonight as they beat San Jose State 6-1. Boise State's at 5-2. Boise State is on the road in Logan next Friday to play this Utah State team. And just think about what could have been for Utah State. Just had they been able to make a kick and beat UNLV a few kicks, but just one. Pick one. And, you know, then you would couple that with this win, and it's like all of a sudden you're talking about Utah State being in a really good spot. But look, Bronco Mendenhall is just starting. They're going to, if they can hang on to this one, they'll go 6-5 and 4-3. And a big showdown with Boise State coming up Thanksgiving Friday. Barnes will probably be icing his body the entire week. Ball's on the floor.
Exactly what Fresno State needed right here.
Did the Bulldogs get it?
Let's see who came up with it.
I think Utah State has it.
Oh.
Rolling on the field is a fumble.
J.R. Sia is the offensive lineman that I think got on it.
The ruling on the field was a fumble by the offense, recovered by Utah State. Timeout, Fresno State. It's their second of the half, 30 seconds in length.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear recovery there.
Yeah, that would have been a big momentum shift for Fresno State, and they've been excellent this season, Rich, in terms of generating takeaways. They already have one tonight. Running back Miles Davis put one on the ground after a big-time hit by Cameron Braca. But you know that Fresno State, they're going to be stripping and punching at the football in this area to try to get their offense another opportunity here.
All right, look, the road loss at Texas A&M, they're number 3 in the college football playoff.
Yep.
Vanderbilt's number 14 in the college football playoff standings. You know, the game they wish they had back, obviously, is the loss to UNLV last week in double overtime. But the response here has been pretty impressive. That ball's intercepted. After being deflected, it's picked.
I just talked about, Rich, how Fresno State all season long has done an excellent job generating takeaways.
Dejan Lafitte off the deflection. Kajabi got a hand on it. Lafitte, the big defensive tackle at 302.
How about Barnes sticking his nose in there? After taking all these hits running the football, he goes in and tackles a 300-pounder.
That's so Bryson Barnes.
Here's the reason why this play's so huge. Utah State has a player down on the ground. Fresno State still has a timeout plus the 2-minute timeout as they trying to garner now a touchdown drive. And so huge for Fresno State to come up with a takeaway right there. I thought a little greedy by Coach McGivern. Should have kept that football on the ground to force Fresno State to use that last timeout.
It was 3rd and 7. And that's Sia who recovered the fumble on consecutive plays. First a fumble, and then a pick.
This is where the finish is always so important. We talk about finishing a lot. Like even in the offseason, Rich,
the ruling on the field was an interception by the defense. First down, Fresno State.
You know, we're running gassers, we're doing conditioning, and it's finished through the line. Everything is about finishing, right? That is why right here, these fourth quarter moments, you got to finish games.
That's only the 4th interception all year for Bryson Barnes. And if Fresno State does come back, there's going to be about 20,000 people who won't see it because they've left already. That's Luke with the catch. Big collision. Luke pops up. First down. Clock stops.
They got to get back to the line of scrimmage here. They need to be in 2-minute mode.
At the 44. Warner scrambling.
Throw it away.
Just dump it off to Luke. And he's going to lose actually a yard or 2. But getting out stops it with 2:59 briefly. Now they'll restart the clock once they spot the ball. Second down, 11. Warner over the middle. That's not going to do him much good at all. Luke makes the catch, but the clock's still running. And you got third down. Fresno has been awful on third down in the second half. They're 2 of 11 on the night. Blitz comes, Warner's throw. It's caught by Anderson. Short of the first down. Fourth down and 4.
This may be a situation where E.J. Warner may want to use his feet to convert this first down.
Another blitz. Warner, swing pass, caught there. That's Luke.
Short.
And Luke didn't make it. Look at the sideline.
Wow.
Look at the Aggies celebrating.
The ruling on the field is the runner is short of the line to gain. It's first down, Utah State.
And I think Luke lost his footing just slightly here, Rich. Look at him. Just stumbles. If he doesn't stumble there, I think he's able to convert this first down. It's a good decision by E.J. Warner. And yep, the agony. Kurt Warner's like, man, that's a disappointing result right there.
Now, I'll be really surprised if Utah State throws it in this sequence. It's got to be all on the ground. Jacobs to midfield. Get down to the 2-minute timeout.
And if you're Fresno State defensively, it's like, look, we've been able to force a couple takeaways. Let's keep fighting at the football.
This is
2-minute timeout. Utah State in control. All right, our old Trapper player of the game. This is an easy choice. I mean, Bryson Barnes has given his heart, his soul, and his body up for this game. And he's even caught a pass for a touchdown.
Literally done everything except maybe make a block. He might have blocked too at some point in this football game.
So 265 total yards. That's his rushing and his throwing combined. He made that great tackle.
That was a great tackle, because if he doesn't make it, that might have been a pick six.
Yes.
Snap count's been getting Fresno State all night.
And down goes Barnes. Caught back at the 42-yard line. And there's a flag down. I think Fresno State was offside.
Offside, number 99 on the defense. 5 yards, still second down.
Yep, there it is right there. Jumps off sides. You know, don't typically see a lot of indiscipline from Fresno State. A little uncharacteristic. Tonight we've seen them jump off sides a handful of times.
Well, you're down to 1:42 left. Fresno State has just the one timeout. There's the slide.
Right in the home plate.
There it is. He hasn't done that all night. I doubt he's done it much at all this season, because this dude is just fearless.
There's Bryson Barnes. Speaking of home plate, you know, earlier in the game we were talking about William Holmes, linebacker for Utah State. Baseball player, is a pitcher. And you know, fastball is 98 miles per hour. And I just want to know, Rich, you know, with your baseball background, you making contact on a 98 mile per hour? What do you think?
Probably. I mean, at this point, at my age now, no.
I'm talking about in the prime.
I probably could get a piece of it. I don't know how you could put it in play, but there's a flag down. I did face Randy Johnson in Summer Bowl.
Is that right?
Yes. And I walked. He was
Illegal
wild.
substitution. 12 men on defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
Well, look, you know, Fresno State.
First down.
Fresno State had momentum. They had won 2 straight. They had the lead in the first half. Bronco Mendenhall talked about repairing what happened last week and kind of going through that this week with his team, with his kicker. He said he didn't really have to tell his team what to do. His team kind of took the initiative and took care of it themselves.
Yeah.
And man, this is, I mean, how impressive is this for the Aggies after what they went through last week, all that disappointment, all that drama, and here they are on the road, really tough place to play, and they beat Fresno State 28-17. And they get Boise State at home on Friday on CBS. And that guy will be, get that man an ice bath right now.
I think he'll be Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week this week for sure.
And the co-offensive player maybe is wide receiver Anthony Garcia, who threw for 2 touchdowns.
No doubt.
In this one.
No doubt about it.
So Utah State's now at 4-3. Hawaii's 4-3. Fresno State falls back to 4-3. So I guess it's what? Then there were 4. San Diego State, Boise State, New Mexico, UNLV. There's a lot of permutations of what has to happen for every team. That'll be updated, I'm sure, at the Mountain West offices shortly. And the Friday game to me is going to be fascinating with Boise State at Utah State. Let's check in with Brandon. Brandon?
Rich here with Bryson Barnes, and a game for you where it was physical. We saw you make a tackle. We saw you, of course, catch a touchdown pass. Just take me through the motions, this one for you.
Man, I mean, it's been a long season with the boys, and we've been struggling on the road. And so I'm just so grateful to be able to come out here, play with my guys, and go out there and get a win today.
Speaking of that win, of course, you're bowl eligible. You mentioned the first one on the road. What does this mean for you, this program, the steps that you guys took?
Man, it's been super special to be able to have my senior year with this type of coaching staff. Like, it's a match made in heaven. I couldn't be more grateful, and I couldn't be more blessed.
And how proud would Reed be of you right now?
Hopefully he sleeps for his mom tonight. That's what I'm hoping for.
I appreciate it. Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, he is a father, too.
That's right.
That's right. This is a tremendous win for Utah State. Remember, next Friday against Boise State on CBS. Senior night for Fresno State, had the lead and then lost it. For Robert Turbin, Brandon Baylor, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. A presentation to CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. On to New York, Brent Stover and the crew standing by for Inside College Football. Good night from Fresno.